Hello, and welcome to This Week in History with Mike and Will. I'm Mike.
I'm Will.
And look, we've got our special guest back. It's Erica.
Oh my God. I just choked. I got excited and I choked on my coffee.
We're not starting over. This is going in the final thing.
Leave this in the thing.
Oh, we're leaving that in there. That was a great intro.
Do you want some water?
No, I got my coffee.
That's what killed her. She
I'm
shouldn't be allowed
fine.
to
I'm
drink.
Erica and I'm back.
Welcome to the show. If you just joined us for the first time, here's what we do. Will normally looks up an event in history that happened this week, some other time in history, and he has 1 hour to explain it to me. This time, though, Erica got all excited about a thing in history, and she wanted to explain it to me, so she still got the 1 hour.
Same 1 hour.
Same 1 hour.
Same 1 hour, same rules. But she asked like a month in advance to do this, and we were like, Will doesn't know what's going on next week, so yeah, that's fine.
It's a little behind-the-scenes preview for you there.
Yeah, little spoilers.
All right.
Also, you'll notice, Will shaved. Clean as a baby.
It's important.
A very
Very
fuzzy,
baby.
dirty baby.
The people want to know this.
Yep, it's important, man. Because, and then we
you
missed.
imagine
We
seeing a
also have
baby
to
with
say
that
we missed an episode or two that would be terrifying. A baby did have this face. Then he
Yeah.
grew up into me.
Like
My face has never
baby
changed.
Size baby, but with same head.
Same head shape.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my mother was so mad at me my entire childhood. Like, anyway.
Maybe we'll start the episode now.
No, because we have to explain. We missed a couple weeks
Yeah.
because we had two shows we're doing concurrently. One that Mike directed and that I acted in, and now another one that we're both acting in. So we've been busy, which means we've missed a couple weeks. We're probably not going to ever get around to doing the D-Day one.
Perhaps.
Next year.
That we were going to do, but there will be next year, and also there are entire podcasts just devoted to World War II.
Yeah, so look up one of those.
So look up one of those because that's probably, go find the guys who that's their forte. Also watch Band of Brothers. That's just a better way of doing it.
But right now,
I'm entertaining. But
all
right
that
now
is unrelated.
that's all the information you need. We front loaded.
There you go.
What will we learn about today?
Yes, today.
We're learning about the last stand of Ned Kelly.
Ned Kelly.
June 28th, 1880.
Okay.
All
All right?
Wait, we got to do the thing.
Oh,
All right.
sorry.
Also, I'm sure we'll bring it up. Ned Kelly was a bar in the Green Bay area.
I think it still is.
So there you go. That's all I know about it.
Nope.
Eric has 1 more hour to explain it to me what it really is.
Okay.
Ready?
Do
Yeah.
it all through the lens of the.
Okay, so I think in order to get a better understanding of Ned Kelly and his future motives and how things transpired, it's important to understand how Australia came to be a little bit, right?
Australia.
Right. Okay. So I don't know why there's a bar in Green Bay named after this Australian guy, because Green Bay's connection to Australia does not exist.
There
There
is
is not one.
I think we had an Australian guy here once.
They they don't have a happy hour at Ned Kelly's. They call it Aussie hour, but that's it. Whatever.
Wow.
Anyway, so neither here nor there. Australia at this point in history was not yet Australia.
Okay.
It was still colonies, separate colonies. There's 6 of them. The one that this story takes place in is Victoria, which is the smallest. Maybe we can put up a map of Australia and we can point to Victoria somewhere here.
Right over Will's face.
This is unused right now.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. Anyway, so Victoria
In the frame. Put it in the frame.
is
right
the
there.
smallest of the current Australian states, was the smallest colony. When Australia was found, the British said this is a great place to put all the people we don't know what to do with. And we talked about this last time I was here with
Pitcairn Island.
Yep, William Bligh was such an asshole that England and the United Kingdom, they were just like, we don't know what to do.
We don't know where to
with
put you. Go
You're-
govern something.
Right. So that's what they did.
In Australia. That's where all the criminals live and the people we don't like
Exactly.
go to run.
So I think a lot of people understand that Australia was a penal colony at first.
Yeah.
But
I
it
also
wasn't
like to say penal colony.
like penitentiary colony.
It's
Yeah.
not genital warts,
No.
Mike. But that is a type of
Anyway,
penal colony.
a lot of people also assume that the United Kingdom would send the worst of the worst out here. Not
Yeah.
necessarily true. We're going to talk about a guy who was sent to Australia for 7 years because he stole a pair of shoes.
Oh.
So
I feel like if you sent the worst of the worst, the colony would just deplete itself. Right?
Fair
like
point.
if you just sent only the murderers,
Yeah.
then they'd just murder each other, and then there wouldn't
Also
be
a fair
any.
point.
Sure.
Another thing is that the people who were convicted and sent to Australia, the sentence was called a transportation sentence. You were transported to
Yeah.
Australia.
Like Sweeney Todd.
It was. I don't.
Sweeney Todd was transported. It's in the book.
Oh, okay.
It's not
I don't
a big one.
remember. Anyway, it was really heavily biased towards the Irish.
Strange that.
Irish Catholics, especially.
Ah, yes, the Irish. The Jews of Great Britain.
Yeah,
Whereas the
something-
Jews are treated like garbage in Maine, Europe.
So
Irish.
How long? I thought you were sent there, and that's just where you were then.
Well,
You were
kind
there
of.
okay.
So the transportation sentence was, I think there probably was some exceptions to it here and there, but generally the sentence was 7 years of transportation. You were sent there to basically build infrastructure for Great
Oh,
Britain.
okay.
You built roads, you built towns, and
How long does it take to get to Australia by boat?
a while. I
Wonder if
don't
that
know.
comes after your sentence, or if that's
Yeah, does that
Additional.
count until you get
I
in
don't know.
country,
Good
or is that
question.
part of it?
I don't know. Good question.
Because it's not
So-
steamships, so it's months. Possibly.
Anyway, once you're done with your 7 years,
Yeah.
if you survived all of this, Britain did not bring you back.
You
They just
got
opened the
back.
door to the jail cell and they said, off you go.
oh,
That's
Good
wrong.
luck. They didn't transport you back. You were on your own.
okay.
If you wanted to go back to England, that's on you.
Yeah.
And you've been making money this whole. Oh.
Oh, they're
no.
in jail
They're
doing
in
slave
jail.
labor.
Oh.
So anyway,
Prisoners with jobs.
yeah,
Oh.
kind of.
It's different.
So, I
Just
mean, I'm sure there
slightly
was some
different.
people that probably could afford it, like if you came from money or something, maybe your parents could afford it, but most of them could not. Most of them were, I guess I live in Australia now.
Okay.
And that's kind of how the Kelly family and a whole bunch of other people came to be. Red Kelly, John Kelly, nicknamed Red because he's Irish, was Ned Kelly's father. He was sent to Australia. He went to Van Diemen's Island, which is now known as Tasmania.
Oh.
So that's where he was transported.
That's
he
a
did
hellscape.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. They're known for the devil, and that little thing is mean as
The one
hell.
that spins on a top and
Yeah.
chases bug.
Yeah, they do that. They're
Right.
horrifying.
Yep.
They have a genetic and transmutable form of cancer,
Interesting.
and they're cannibals,
Huh. Okay. Cool.
but they're adorable.
Sounds nice.
So he finished his sentence. He was transported there because he stole 2 pigs. That was a total value of £6.
How do you steal 2 pigs?
I don't know.
One under each arm.
Good.
This was during the Irish potato famine too. So
Oh, okay.
he had no
Oh, that
food.
little
He had no
chestnut.
money. He had nothing to feed his family with. So he stole 2 pigs.
There you go.
And the British kicked him out. and
That
sent him
seems
to
like a
Australia.
fair punishment, right?
Sure.
7 years for
For
3.5 a
stealing 2
pig.
pigs?
3.5 a pig. Okay. What did they
Uh,
do to British people who did that?
I don't know. Good question. They probably had money.
Made
and
him-
they weren't
Wrist.
Irish.
Slap on the wrist.
Made him give the pigs back.
Don't do it again.
So he finishes up a sentence, doesn't have money to get back to England, so he hops across the little strait, I think it's the Bath Strait, it's called, between Tasmania and mainland Australia,
Alright.
lands in Melbourne, and he meets the Quinn family, who hire him to work on their farm. He falls in love with this lovely little 18-year-old named Ellen Quinn.
That's an old lady by then.
Yeah, just a spinster. He was like 30.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a fair.
Yep, so he
Now it's weird.
hooks up with Ellen. Mr. Quinn, the dad, is not a fan of this. He says, no daughter of mine is marrying some
Irish
prisoner. Well, they were
His
Irish
last
too.
name is Quinn. He's
Yeah, they were
Irish, too,
Irish.
but this one's a prisoner,
Right,
so that's...
they were not rich.
Sounds like pig stealer.
Ellen says, whatever, Dad, I do what I want.
Steelers.
She marries him anyway while she's 7 months pregnant.
Okay.
Seems she already did what she wanted a long time ago.
Yep. So they get married. They have several children. They had 2 girls that died in infancy. Then they had Ned.
Ned,
Then they had
Ted,
6 more.
Fred,
Or something
Ned,
like that.
Ted.
There was a bunch of. There was some girl. They had Dan.
Jed.
Jed.
There was a few.
Bread.
more.
Bread, just because
Anyway.
it's something they could never have, but they
No,
wanted.
there was a Dan.
Oh,
There was
Dan.
Damn.
Really-
I'm
I'm
anyway,
thinking it's all 3-letter names.
could be.
Ned, Dan,
There was Kate.
Bob.
Anyway, so they've got a bunch of kids. Red is still having issues feeding the family. He's
Stop
Stop having kids! You're broke! Stop having kids! You had to steal pigs!
Melbourne and Australia, they were having a gold rush, specifically in Melbourne, I guess. So he was like, that's the ticket. Gold. And
That always
the
wor-
gold rush was depleted.
That
no more
always
gold.
pans out.
Right. The other thing is where he was from in Ireland was very fertile farming ground.
Yeah.
It was Tipperary.
Oh.
Very lush and green and lovely.
Yep.
Where Australia is not.
Yeah,
it's not
nothing
really
in-
known for being lush and green and lovely, especially northeastern.
I think the best you can get is like pasture land, and that's about it.
Well,
it's not
yeah,
like really.
It's not.
I mean,
there's
there's
like
some
a
that's
half of inch of
fertile.
topsoil. And
Yeah,
that's it.
it's not good.
Where
It's
they
not
were anyway.
good.
I'm sure other parts
That's
of
not-
Australia are different.
Like, there's a reason the Aborigines never became farmers. Like, this
Right.
isn't gonna work.
We're not going to grow anything here. So couldn't farm. There was no more gold to be had by the time he showed up. There was just no money to be had. So he gets back into his criminal lifestyle. He's just doing small time, like
Sure.
petty theft
Piglets.
stuff.
Pigs.
Maybe. I don't
Small
know.
pigs.
In and out of jail. So while his dad is in and out of prison in Australia, Ned, the little boy, is man of the house, right? He's the oldest son.
Little boy Ned.
Yep. When he's 10 years old, he's on his way to school. He sees a little boy who lost his hat in a creek. The little boy tries to go in after his hat and obviously tumbles and falls in. Ned dives in after him, saves his life, drags him out of the creek, drags his hat out of the creek. He's fine. He lives.
He saved the hat, too.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome.
That's what
The
he was trying to
family
save.
is so they're so grateful, obviously, that they saved that Ned saved the little boy. They awarded him with this beautiful green silk sash. Okay, it's
That's going to be important later.
foreshadowing. So
All right, then.
Ned was like, I'm a hero. I've got this green sash.
Just wears that
He
everywhere.
wore it. He did. He wore it everywhere. This is like how a little kid gets a cool hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yep.
Well, number one, he was also a hero. Like the parents of this boy called him a hero. They showed him off in front of the town. Said, "Look, this boy that saved our son. He is a hero. We are giving him this green sash." So
That's
Ned's
cool.
like his ego is through the roof, right?
Understandably,
from square
he
one.
saved a kid,
Yeah.
and then he got a cool
And
sash.
he was also a kid.
Yeah.
And so anyway, doing that for a little bit. Red is a drunk.
Oh, no.
I know things
Just
have not
being
gone
a
well.
stereotype.
Just, I mean,
Pig stealing, drunken Irish convict. That's
Yeah.
just not
he steals a calf from a ranch. Like,
same MO.
Yep. Kills it, skins it, has the hide. The farmer reports the calf stolen. The cops can't really do anything because there's no evidence of him actually taking the calf, but they get him on stolen hide.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, he's just those ribs are gonna work.
So they put him in jail again. By the time he gets out, he's just lost all hope. He's given up. He succumbs to alcoholism. He succumbs to dropsy, which I guess is
When you drink too much.
right. You're maintaining or you're holding fluid around your organs or something. It was an old timey thing. I think it's cured by salt, or maybe I'm thinking of gout. I don't.
You can still
Anyway,
get it today, but you just
it's
have to
not
be a
as-
bag of crap.
He
to
was
do
a
it.
he was a bag
I'll look it up.
of crap. Anyway, so Ned is now fully in charge. Dad's dead. Oh, Ned was like 11 or 12 when this happened.
Okay.
When the officials came to claim the body, Ned had to file the report. He had to sign his name. He was like 11 or 12.
So he's already saved a life. He's wearing a sash,
And now he's taking a life out.
He's grown up quick.
Yeah.
He's got a
for sure.
beard. Well, you better get him out of here.
Ellen decides she's going to move the family back up north, up to northern Victoria, closer to her parents.
Okay.
So
The
we're
Quins.
yeah, back to the Quins.
We told you nothing good would come of that, Kelly fella.
Yeah. But Dad's rich. Like, the Quinn family is
they have a
rich.
big
They've got,
farm,
like,
yeah.
25,000 acres, which is a lot. Oh, I forgot something.
Ow! Just
oh,
attack
shit.
me. Violence in the system.
Australia, the colonies at this point, after people could get out of prison, you could, if you wanted to, you could own land.
Did they give it to you, or?
Yeah, kind of. So what you would do is if you had your certificate of freedom, which you got after you completed your 7 years in prison, you had the opportunity to be allotted a selection, which made you a selector. If you said, I want those 10 acres, the Crown would say, okay, you may have those 10 acres. You have to give us £1 per acre for the first half as like a down payment. then you have 7 years to pay off the full amount for the whole purchase. After 7 years, if you've got the money, then great, it's yours. It's your land.
It's like a better deal than buying land back home.
Well, okay. So
okay.
also, the prisoners, the former prisoners, were not the only people on Australia or in the colonies. There was also rich businessmen from Britain who got there first, who had a 7-year head start on everybody else because they just went there of their own free will.
To be here. So they bought all the good land.
They didn't even buy it. They got there. They said, "I have a flag. This is my land."
They Britain the
it.
hell out of that place.
So those were called squatters. Right now, in these days, squatters has kind of a negative connotation. Back then, not so much. It was just that they're just squatters. Like you are Mike, you are Will.
I'm sure they had a
thing.
negative connotation on the people who were there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure the Aborigines were fine with it.
So anyway, there was
coming through here in the winter.
Selectors versus squatters.
Sure.
The Quinns and the Kellys were selectors.
Okay.
The Quinn family they actually owned the land. They had paid off their 7-year
Oh,
debt
wow.
or whatever.
Oh, so they started poor and they worked their way up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He had been there for a while.
Well, he can't judge people for being convicts. He was a convict.
Right.
That's crap.
That was another. I don't know.
What a
whatever.
jerk. I don't like him now.
I agree. Wasn't very nice. Anyway, so the
Not
squatters,
that-
they figured, well, we've got these 7 years to make life hell for these selectors on this parcel of land that we want, so they would have the police in their pocket. So, like, cattle theft and pig theft and horse theft, that was a big thing, because these ranches, you would have thousands of sheep, right? If somebody takes one sheep out of your pack of 1,000 sheep, you're not, whatever, it's one
Who's
sheep.
counting the sheep?
But these...
It's hard to count sheep. You fall asleep.
Yeah.
I know.
Every time you get to like
Every
64.
time. So they would
Plus
either...
there's predators and dingoes and coyotes.
Yep. Right. So either it didn't matter if they had proof or not. They would say, "Hey, policeman, that guy stole my sheep," and the policeman would say, "Okay, I got you."
I believe you completely.
And so the squatters would be able to
God.
pay off. That one's mine.
That's yours. Thank you. Good. I almost grabbed her coffee. You can't see it, but they're right there. That's why I left the band off mine. Sorry.
Good. So where was I?
Buying off
Squatters.
But
cops.
squatters, selectors, squatters are, even though they don't have like a legal claim to the land,
They have a lot of money.
They've got a lot of money, and
Okay.
they're not Irish Catholics. So,
And the cops on their side.
and the cops are on their side, right?
I'm noticing an historical precedent of if you have a lot of money, you can just kind of do what you want.
Yeah. So
Turns out.
anyway,
We need to do that.
Ned is 13 or 14. So this is when he has his first brush with the law personally. A Chinese farmer. You can Google his name. I feel like this isn't his real name. Whatever. It's okay.
O'Flannery.
That's going to be super racist.
It's extremely racist.
This is going to be super racist.
Everything. So I read the official court transcripts and everything because I was like, there is no way this is this guy's real name.
Super racist.
Even in the official court transcripts, his name is Fook.
Oh, well, that's not so bad. I thought it was going to be
Well,
like
if you say it with an Irish accent,
Fook.
yeah. So anyway,
He's
there's
a
no
Fook,
way.
you know.
There's no way that's his real name. Anyway,
Well, is a first name in China.
I don't know. Well, Fook though, I don't know.
Well,
it
we'll
could
look
be.
it up.
Who
I'm gonna
knows?
have
Fook.
spelling of it right here, right above your head.
This Chinese farmer files a complaint with the police in Victoria, and he says, Ned Kelly robbed me. He ran up to me. He's like 13 years old, 14 years old. He ran up to me, and he said, I'm a bushranger. Give me your money. And the police said, oh, that's very interesting. A Kelly, you say?
No, we don't like them.
That we don't like the Kellys because of his dad. So they arrest him.
Wait, I'm sorry. Afuk accused Ned
Yeah.
Kelly of being a bush ranger?
Yes, bushranger is an outlaw. So
That's
think Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
If you want an
Okay.
American context. Cowboy, rapscallion.
I just wanted
Okay.
all that.
I thought that was like an official job.
No,
like a
no, no,
bush
no,
ranger's
no.
like,
No.
I'll go around and I'll kill bad guys in the bush.
No,
I just wanted
bushranger
that-
is a highway robber.
I wanted to hear that all in one sentence. Afuk says you're a bush ranger.
So they arrest 13 or 14-year-old Ned. He goes and spends a few days in jail. His mother, Ellen, is pissed, as she rightfully should be.
At Ned or at the cops?
At the cops.
Okay, good.
So they go.
Stop going to
court.
jail, Ned. You're just like your father.
Well, okay, so
Sorry.
just buckle up, because this is not the worst
Oh, I
encounter
imagine
Ned has
not.
with the cops.
If he had a last stand, it can't be the worst
Right.
encounter. Yeah.
So at court, there's obviously two stories. Another historical frame of reference for you. Colonial Australians did not care for the Chinese. Chinese showed up around the same time as the gold rush.
Oh.
Just like in America.
Right, same thing. Same kind of attitude that the Americans had towards Chinese during the gold rush.
So super racist.
Yep.
But that's wild that they believed this Chinese farmer over the Irishman. So it just shows how much they hate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this farmer's story was Ned approached me in the bush. The bush being the actual, not a hedge, not a rose bush.
The
bush
wilds
is just
of
the wilderness
Australia.
of Australia. So anyway, he
Where
approached
everything
me
wants you
on
to
a
die.
road. He demanded my money. He says, "I'm a bushranger. Give me your wallet." And then he ran off, or he tried to run off. Ned apparently still hit him with a stick. Didn't get his money, and he took off. So then Ned's story, which was corroborated by his sister, an employee of his mom's, and Ned's friend from down the road. Okay, this story was that this Chinese farmer showed up at Ned's parents' house, asked Ned's little sister for a glass of water. She said, "Okay, got you. No big deal." She ran, got a glass of water, came back. The Chinese farmer apparently, allegedly, took a sip and he said, "That's not your well water, that's creek water," and started beating the sister. Ned showed up and said, "How dare you?" and started beating him back. Again, story was corroborated by Ned's friend,
people.
Ned's sister, an employee of Ned's mom's.
So they're all unbiased.
Versus this Chinese farmer that nobody likes anyway. So who knows? Who knows what actually happened? I don't know. I wasn't there. But anyway, charges were dropped. Regardless, this was Ned's first taste of prison life, first brush with the cops. When the newspapers in the area started publishing this story, they didn't say, "Oh, this sweet little boy Ned defended his sister." They said, "This wild, feral, orphaned bushranger bastard."
Wow. The guy who was a hero.
Yeah, right.
I'm inclined to believe that he protected his
I can
sister.
see both. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm not saying that,
Yeah,
it's just like...
there's a lot in this story that you kind of have to take with a grain of salt because our only witness is Ned, who is a convicted felon.
But considering the cops are all bastards at this time...
Yeah, right.
Just totally different than any other time in history.
So, he's already got a reputation because of this
Yeah.
tiny little thing that may or may not have even happened.
Right. It's a he said, she said.
Right. So, Ned is off making mischief. He's a 13-year-old boy in the bush. Like, obviously, he's not at Bible study every day, you know?
Sure.
He's just off making mischief.
Yeah.
He runs into a guy named Harry Power. Harry Power is
It's a good name.
I know. He's also a bushranger, but he's a career bushranger.
Harry Power
Yeah,
bushranger.
he's the guy that was transported to Australia for stealing shoes.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so he...
Harry Power bushranger shoe thief. It's just a pile of words.
Harry Power was a notorious bushranger. A lot of people knew him. A lot of people knew of him. He had several encounters with the police over his career. He had like 600 bank robberies in a year. Something like that.
Holy crap!
But he was also known
That's like
Six. That's like he hit each bank 10 times. Like how many banks? I can't even imagine there are that many. He's just like, oh God, Harry Power's back. We don't have any money. You took it all last week.
I was here this morning. Did you get the afternoon deposits?
Yeah. Reach for this. Oh, I already got this place.
The other
Sorry.
thing about Harry Power, he was kind of known for being kind of a... Like, he was a gentleman.
And a go-getter.
Not if he robs the same bank.
He was never violent. He never killed anybody. He never hurt anybody. He always had a gun. Like, there was always the threat of being injured, but he never actually did it.
Sure.
He always had a good sense of humor when he did it. He was very jovial.
Oh, nice. Okay.
A lot of people had, like good experiences.
Oh, Harry's
Yeah.
back to borrow. He's here to steal our money.
Yeah.
Hey, let's have a pint.
Hey,
He's
right,
a great
yeah.
fella. How you doing, Harry? Oh, no, just here to steal from you.
He also...
Don't mind it.
So he's a famous bank robber / bushranger. He's known for a good sense of humor.
But he's
being
like a gentleman.
He's
He's
also
well-liked.
kind of a ding dong.
He's an idiot.
So, yeah. Some of his
Just
exploits
robbing
didn't
the
really.
same bank.
Well,
It's
yeah,
600 banks. It's the same bank.
there
He
can't
just
be that many
robs it
banks in the
twice a
area.
day.
So
They don't even give him money.
All right, I have an hour.
I'm sorry. This is so dumb.
So Ned meets up with Harry. There was a movie that came out in Australia. It didn't get released in America, but it got released in Australia in like 2019 or 2020, where apparently Harry Power got married to Ned's mom, and Ned's mom sold Ned to Harry.
That doesn't sound like something Harry would do.
We know Harry. Good old Harry
Harry's
Power.
a good guy.
Anyway, I don't know whether
Harry
or not
Power,
that happened.
Bushranger,
I didn't
shoot
see
thief.
any of that in anything I read.
And
Oh.
they take a lot of license in movies. A
Right.
lot.
I don't know. But it's such a fairly recent movie. I'm figuring maybe somebody's going to watch this and have also seen the movie. I don't know.
What's that movie called?
True History of Ned Kelly.
Well, it's
I
a
would just
true
say-
history.
Right.
Full
I
lies
know.
of Liesville Town.
Anyway, Russell Crowe plays him.
What? Okay, now I'm watching. That's all you had to say is Russell Crowe's in it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch it now.
So is Nicholas Holt. Do you know him?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
Nicholas Holt is
Beast.
Peter the Great in
Yeah,
Batman
yeah.
on Hulu.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Does
Yeah.
he say huzzah and throw a glass?
I don't know.
Is he Ned Kelly?
No, he's a guy we haven't gotten to yet. Anyway, I'm sorry. Okay.
No.
So,
This is not. We're gonna go watch this movie
Ned
now.
meets up with Harry Power and says, "Hey, I'm not going to do any Australian accents.
No, it's fine.
I cannot do it.
That's
well, they expected more, but that's fine.
Fine.
I'll give them their money back."
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
He meets up with Harry. He says, "I want to be a bushranger just like you." And this might have been like a Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon, like a little bit of that maybe, because his dad wasn't around. His
Oh,
dad
sure.
was dead.
Are you my dad?
Harry Power says,
Are you my
"Yeah,
dad?
you're a good kid." Like, and I guess Harry Power was friends with Ellen the mom. He was friends with her sister.
Oh,
Okay, so this is like a major small
He's
town
Uncle Harry.
thing.
He's
This
Uncle
is-
Harry
right,
Power.
Yeah, this whole story is just small town drama blown up on a grand scale. So he already knows Harry. Harry knows Ned. He says, "Yeah, sure, tag along. I'll show you the ropes. We'll go be bushrangers together."
Mm.
So they're off doing their exploits. Ned is getting more of a reputation, being known as Harry's little assistant, which
not
I
a
think
great
is so
gig.
cute. Anyway, they
He's like the Caligula to his
I know.
Tiberius. Like, oh, he's just an adorable little guy.
Harry
following around.
says, "I'm going to teach you how to do horse thieving.
Ooh.
That's
Right.
going to be our thing, right?"
Right.
And Ned says, "I'm on board. Let's do this." He probably already knew a little bit about horses because where his father is from in Tipperary Island, they're known for breeding horses.
Mm.
So chances
Long way
are,
to Tipperary.
again, Bugs Bunny.
That's a wholly inappropriate Bugs Bunny song.
know.
That's really inappropriate.
Anyway,
Why is
they
that
go off
inappropriate?
to this squatter's ranch.
Okay.
Squatters got all these beautiful, beautiful horses. They've got their own horses that are just they're
We
horses.
brought them from the estate in England.
They could have. Who knows? They've got these beautiful, expensive horses.
These are Arabians.
Harry Power says that's the ticket. Those are the horses we want, and they're up on a high ridge, looking down with their own kind of just meh
Nags.
horses. They're Walmart horses. They're
You know how many more banks we can get to with those nice horses?
We can get to 700 this year.
right. Maybe I don't know.
It's
As
just
they're
the same two banks across
looking
the street.
down the ridge, these squatters are down there with their horses. They turn around and they go, "Hey."
Yeah, that's a bad spot. You stick out when you're standing on top of
I
the
know.
ridge. You go
So-
below the ridge line so you can look down. not,
Anyway.
Hi!
And that'll come up later.
Oh, great.
Maybe, possibly, depending on how you look at. Anyway, Harry goes, we gotta go. We gotta
He said he's kind of a knob.
hit the bricks. So they get on their own.
I'm used to robbing banks, not ranches.
They get on their own essential everyday horses.
Crap horses.
They're
Yep.
going as fast as they can, but the squatters on their nice horses are
Oh.
I was gonna say
faster.
the squatters just walk up to him.
They start shooting guns. The horses get spooked.
Oh no.
Ned gets bucked off of his horse, and he's freaking out. Harry keeps going, leaves him in the dirt.
Bad Harry.
I know.
We liked Harry.
He goes,
He
"Don't
betrayed
shoot,
us."
don't shoot. I'm sorry. I'll go with you. And so the squatters get him arrested. He gets thrown in jail. Little 14-year-old Ned.
Little Ned.
I know. A little
Back-
bit later.
back in
How long was he
jail.
there? 6 months? I don't know. There's so many prison stays.
It's lucky he wasn't the United States. Horse
I
thieving in the
know.
U.S. was like a death sentence.
Could have been. I
He
don't
could
know.
hang
Well,
it.
there's probably 5 billion horses for every one person. I don't know. Anyway, he was there for a while.
Nobody
Not
wants
like a
to
super long time, though. While he was there, he's still... Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'm mixing my stories up. He's in jail. He gets out. Whatever. He's legitimately in jail for a legitimate reason. He gets out. He goes, that's it. I've had it. I'm not bushranging anymore. I
No
am
more
done.
crime for me.
Nothing but the straight and narrow for your boy Ned.
And of course it pans out, and that's the end of the story.
The end.
Well, thanks
Yep.
for coming.
Thanks for
And
we got
oh,
for
That was
the
his
time.
last
wait,
stand.
there's some more
For the last
time.
time. That was a great last stand. I don't want to do this anymore. Okay. All right.
So he goes
you learned your
home.
lesson. Go home.
He goes home to his mom's house. His mom takes care of him.
Cookies.
But while he was gone, mom got married.
To Harry?
Was
No.
it
No, some
Fook?
guy from California.
Okay.
George King. George King is okay. Well, mom was 40.
Like King George.
Ellen was 40. George King was 23.
Ooh, good for her.
Good
I know,
job,
good
Mom.
for
Get you a young
her.
man who can work the farm.
Yep, and
And
birthed
you.
some more babies.
And you.
She had 3 more kids with
Oh,
him.
man.
Not in the 6
Jesus.
months that he was in jail.
Why?
but
Yeah, I was just, that's rapid
eventually they had 3 more kids.
That's a big risk for her
Mhm.
at 40.
Yeah.
When is this? 18.
18
80s,
something.
1870s.
When was Ned Kelly born?
1854.
Okay, so yeah,
Somewhere in
this
the
is
1870s
like the
ish.
1860s, 70s. That's
So anyway,
basically like an
George
80-year-old
has a
boy.
sawmill. He goes, young Ned can work at my sawmill.
Yeah.
He's so far so good,
Are
right?
there even trees in Australia? Like any size of... I
Yeah,
just picture
Melbourne,
every tree in
where they
Australia is like this big, and they come up to here.
You're thinking
You know?
of like the middle of Australia,
Yeah.
coastal
Yep.
Australia,
Coastal
which
Australia
is
is
closer to where they
beautiful
are.
and has water.
They have trees.
You still need to saw them.
You gotta saw them down.
Little tiny. The sawmill's just the blades are all
George
little.
has his sawmill. He also has a horse thieving ring of his
God
very
damn it. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
back.
I'm trying to go on the straight and narrow, man. He keeps making me steal horses. Uncle Harry Power run off and I almost died. Now I gotta go and do this with Mr. King. This is crap.
So, George King gets Ned back into horse thieving. They're doing this for a little bit.
That's why you moved from California.
But is
to
it like
Australia.
is it like the sawmill is in like a cover for this? You said like a horse stealing ring? Is like a...
This is like
I'm a legit
organized
businessman.
thing.
But
Yeah.
also I steal horses.
Alright.
Because I have a barn.
So they're doing that for a little bit.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, for a little bit. Eventually, how it worked, and it was probably a similar business model, was you would go to a squatter's ranch where they've got a billion zillion horses.
Take one.
You take one, you put a new brand over the top of it.
That poor
Take
horse.
it. I know. Take
Ow!
it again.
Seriously, the
Take it
same
to another-
spot?
Take it to another ranch miles and miles down the road where they don't know anybody. They say, "Hey, I've got a buddy coming to buy this horse off me. Do you mind if I just let him water in your field?" This unsuspecting squatter says, "Yeah, sure, absolutely, let him in." And the fake buyer, who is a member of this ring, will show up to buy the horse for cheap. The owner or the squatter, who is unbeknownst,
Has no idea
no
what's
idea
going
what's going on, no idea he's being bamboozled. He's the witness to the sale papers, so now you've got a stolen horse with legitimate papers.
They laundered horses.
Horse
Yeah.
laundering.
Horse laundering. That's amazing.
So
That's a great idea.
That's how Ned did it.
Mike,
Later
future
on-
business model.
Probably
Trying
was
to save millions of
similar.
dollars here. I mean, that's a nickel and dime way to a millionaire.
So
but you do it.
boo-doo.
Now, who's Booba Dooba Doo?
I don't know.
guy.
Okay, Street and Narrow. He's
From Oregon.
Oh, okay. So he is running some errands. He's at his sister's house. His sister is married to a guy. Doesn't matter. Some guy. But
He's not relevant to our
he's not
story.
really relevant.
Sorry,
but
guy.
he's friends with this guy named Isaiah Wright.
I feel like he's a criminal.
His nickname is Wild. So-
At least a horse thief.
Isaiah Wright. It's like biblical churchy name. Like Isaiah, the Bible. Right. He's correct. Lies and lies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
just
anyway,
set that kid up for failure. Like, I'm going to
he's
do
at his
everything to
sister's
break
house. Isaiah meets him. "Oh, you're Ned Kelly. I'm Isaiah Wright. I am also a horse thief."
I knew it.
And Ned says, "Hello."
you. Damn it.
But how else are they going to make money?
Yeah.
They can't farm any land. The squatters have
The
all
guy had a sawmill. Apparently, that's a
I
job.
don't know.
Fish.
Whatever. They're going to run out of trees. I don't know.
They're on the coast.
No, they're not. That's
Oh.
Melbourne. They're hundreds of miles north by now.
God dang. I forgot how big Australia is.
Yeah.
It's a continent.
Even the
not a
tiniest
country.
state in Australia is
It's-
still pretty big.
Yeah, well, they had like a 25,000 acre farm, you said. That's like a county.
Yeah.
Big farm.
So
It's a
anyway,
big
no fish.
farm. Okay.
Anyway, Isaiah has
Never
this
mind.
beautiful horse, of his very own, his beautiful chestnut mare.
Did he steal this?
Gorgeous.
Maybe.
And Isaiah, and Ned's like, that's a nice horse. Do you mind if I just give it a little ride? Can I ride your horse? Isaiah's like, yeah, absolutely, pal. Take this horse into town. Why don't you? You got some errands to run. Go ahead, ride my horse. So he's riding Isaiah's horse into town. The postmaster sees this. The postmaster had just recently lost his own chestnut mare. He says, hey,
That's my
that's
horse.
my horse. The police say, oh, you're right. That is your horse. That's the one that was stolen.
Yep.
So they approach. Oh, who was? Oh, this was. Okay, there's a few cops that are named that are important, but none of them are
They're
here.
rivals.
Yeah. One of the cops tries to get Ned to come down, and Ned's like, he's genuinely bewildered. Like, this is my friend Isaiah's horse. The cop says, yeah, you're probably right. Hey, listen, you were just in jail a little bit ago. Why don't you come with me to the station? You've got some paperwork, just some official, tying up some loose ends.
No! Don't talk to cops. That's a rule. Don't talk. Everybody knows this. This is why
Do you think he
everyone
had a
knows.
lawyer?
No!
Anyway.
You just don't talk to him. Just,
Anyway.
I gotta go to run errands. No one will recognize me. I'll take off the sash.
So, Ned, not thinking anything's going to happen because he thinks I'm in the right,
Sure.
This is my buddy's horse. I'm fine. So he hops down off the horse. The cop reaches out to grab him. Ned's like, oh, hell no. I'm not doing this again. I'm not going back to jail. I've been there, done that. I'm over it. So he starts beating him off. He starts, don't say that. No.
it was a different time in Australia.
Beating him up.
Okay.
Trying to get him off. Don't.
Wow!
I didn't
This
mean
is staying
The
in
cop
there.
pulls out his gun. And
It's not getting any better.
A gun?
He was beating him off.
Oh my god.
He was
All
getting
right.
off.
My dad watches
And then
this.
he pulled out a gun. Okay.
He tries to
This
shoot
is
the
an
gun.
R-rated.
Yeah.
Oh no, he aims the gun at Ned. Ned says, "If you shoot me, you're damned." And the cop's like, "I'll take that bet."
Whoa.
And fires.
Oh.
Gun misfires.
Ho, ho, ho!
He's like, "What happened?" So he fires again. Misfires a second time.
If Ned doesn't just take the gun and punch him in the face.
Oh, hang on.
Sorry.
Cop takes a step forward to get to point blank range, fires again, misfires a third time. Ned sees his chance, reaches out and grabs the gun, pins the guy to the ground, starts beating him up again. More cops show up. The cop that got attacked gets on top of Ned, starts pistol whipping him, beats the crap out of him. Again, he's like a 15 or 16-year-old
He's just
kid,
getting
okay?
beat up
He's
by
just getting
a
the
dude.
shit kicked out of him by like 5 cops in the middle of the street over a horse he didn't
Okay,
steal.
okay.
So he gets back to jail.
For defending himself for getting almost shot 3 times.
Right, yeah.
Okay. I'm on Ned's side. Whatever happens next, I'm on Ned's
Even
side.
if he had the slightest inkling that maybe his friend Isaiah was not a stand-up guy, you don't get pistol whipped in the face. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's not done. So he goes back to jail for 3 years.
For getting...
I
He
know.
goes to jail for 3
years.
for getting pistol whipped?
Yeah, for
Wow.
stealing a horse that he didn't steal.
For riding some other
Yeah.
guy's horse.
Uh,
Do we even know for sure that was the mailman's horse and that was a stolen?
Yeah, it was. It was legitimately.
Okay, so Isaiah
Because-
sucks. Isaiah's like, yeah, right into town.
While he's in jail, Ned
What a
is still
jerk.
saying, "I'm innocent. I didn't do it." All this other stuff. Yes, I'll fess up to, but I didn't steal this horse. Like, I did not mean to. So it's looked into. They find out that yes, Isaiah Wright actually did steal the horse. Isaiah Wright gets 18 months.
He stole the horse?
Yeah.
How does he get half
He
the
didn't-
sentence?
And he didn't go to prison for stealing the horse. He got imprisoned for, like, unlawful use of a stolen horse.
Go run errands for me on my stolen horse.
So,
What the hell?
yeah,
This is stupid. I don't like Australia at all.
I know.
Back
It's probably
then.
fine now.
It's probably fine
Sure,
now. They
yeah.
made Chris Hemsworth. So
Yep.
I mean, and the other Hemsworths.
He gets back out of jail. Mom is still married to George. Ned goes right back into horse thieving with George.
That worked really well for
right,
him.
I don't know.
He's already done the time.
If they think I'm a horse thief, I might as well just lean into it. I
Can't
can't fight this reputation anymore.
Yep.
I might as well just
Steal
suck
horses.
it up and deal with it.
I'm going to learn how to pistol whip somebody, too.
So
I'm
they've
coming
got their
back.
horse thieving ring. 1877, they finally got caught. Because I guess this horse thieving thing, it was difficult to really pin down on a person, especially if you've got like a false brand and stuff like that. They
Sure.
can swap out their brand anytime they wanted.
The horses aren't talking.
George bounces. He leaves. Never heard from again.
Oh,
Because
too
a warrant
much.
gets issued.
Oh, crap. He's got money.
Yeah, Ellen, she's pregnant.
With the third
With
kid?
the third kid.
Oh, my God.
I know.
So now she's got
George is gone.
9 kids?
Yeah, Dan, the brother, Ned's younger brother, he was in on this too. So both Ned and Dan have warrants out against them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
the cops are still okay. Number one, they're salty about getting a spectacle made of them during this pistol whipping event.
No one
They're
likes to-
also getting paid by the squatters to track down the Kelly family. They were known as the Greta Gang. Greta was the town that they lived in.
Okay.
So at this time, they're the Greta Mob, Greta Gang. So there's this constable named Alexander Fitzpatrick, and he said, "This
Oh,
is
there
my
he is.
this is who Nicholas Holt plays in the
Oh.
movie that just came out."
Okay.
He goes, "This is my life's work. This is my mission. I'm gonna be the one to collar the Kelly boys." That's
I get the Kelly boys.
yep. So he goes to a hotel bar
Just like
where
to point out,
Ned
it's the Irish being pitted against the Irish by the English.
and
yet
this
again.
is also this will come up. He goes to a hotel bar where Ned was known to hang out. Ned was not a big drinker. He saw what happened to his dad. He saw
Good
what happened to his
job, Ned.
family. He's like, I'm not gonna mess with that too much. I'll have a social drink here and there,
Sure.
but I'm not gonna.
But that's where you go to meet people. That's where
Yeah.
news is
Yep.
exchanged.
Yep. So
information.
he's still gonna have a beer. He's still
Yeah.
gonna have a whiskey now and then, but he's not binging every
Right.
night. You know.
I feel personally attacked. I feel like you looked at me when you said that. Binging.
You're right there. You've got a big head. I don't
It's
know. Anyway.
It's huge.
So
Disproportionate.
he's there. Ned shows up, and Fitzpatrick is like, "Oh, Ned Kelly, come here, sit down." And Ned Kelly's like, "Aren't you a cop?"
I learned this. I'm gonna get pistol
And
whipped again.
Fitzpatrick is like, "Oh, come on. Yes, I am, but let's just be chums." And again, this is small town stuff. They probably knew each other for years,
Okay.
right? Like, just like you grew up with these people.
Okay.
You were skipping in the creek with them one day. Now, 10 years later, one's
They're
a
a
horse
mall
thief
cop.
and one's a cop. Anyway, probably something
It's the
like
kid
that.
he saved from the river.
No, he never comes up again. I don't know what happened.
Now I'll get you, Ned.
Okay. He's like, "Oh, yeah, all right. Okay, if you pinky promise not to arrest
Okay.
me, yeah, we'll have one drink."
This will go fine.
Fitzpatrick says, "Come on, I'll buy your first round." Next thing Ned knows, he wakes up in a jail cell. He's like, "I for sure know I did not drink that much."
Entrapment.
roofied him.
He got drugged somehow.
Huh.
Or truncheon.
Yep. So he's like, "Wait a minute.
That booze was really good.
Yeah, I know for sure I did not, because he didn't do that. You know, he
Yeah,
wasn't.
he's
He was
not a
not a big drinker. So the cops show up to escort him to the courthouse for his hearing, right? Because he got pinned for public intoxication. I don't know. He goes, "You're not gonna cuff me. You're not gonna cuff me. Absolutely not. I will walk myself there." And the cops are too big for their britches. They say, "We're gonna cuff you," and they try. And Ned throws a fit in the
Ned.
middle of the town again, in the middle of the street. Starts beating up the cops left and right. Ned's also a very big guy. He's just big.
Oh, is he?
He's muscly. He's Irish. He's
I'm
just
still picturing him as this little whippersnapper.
Well, you know
Like, he
what's
must
funny?
have just been doing push-ups the whole time. He's in
Mick Jagger
jail.
also played Ned Kelly in a 1970
See,
movie.
now that's more what I'm thinking for Ned Kelly. Scrawny. Just
Right.
wiry.
But not, yeah,
Did Heath Ledger play Ned Kelly?
also him,
Yeah.
yes. But
So not
Mick
big
Jagger
guys.
no, not really, yeah. But
Fits,
anyway,
but not big.
Mick Jagger must have been probably 150 pounds in
Tops.
1970. Yeah, anyway.
Tops.
But
Today he's
real
like-
Ned Kelly was a big, imposing guy.
Well,
Okay.
he was a horse thief.
Mhm.
He just lifts. He just picks them up.
Just carries them.
Ah, look what I brought you.
I got a horse.
It's a horse for you.
So
Not
the
good for
cops
big guy.
are trying to get him under control.
They can't.
One cop named Lonigan pantses him. Listen, pantses him in the middle of the street, in the middle of the day, grabs his junk, and just holds on, like,
That'll
firm
slow you
grip.
down.
Did not slow him down. He just got more mad.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's two types of guys in a fight: the one you hit in the pills
Yeah.
and he goes down, and the one you hit in the pills and he just becomes like an angry bear.
Yeah. So anyway,
Okay, that's
this
it.
is going. This is a lot.
That's okay. I keep interrupting. This is
So,
fun.
okay.
It
So
literally
Lonigan is
explodes
holding
if
onto
you
his
roll.
junk. Ned's fighting back. He's mad as a bear.
Why won't he
The
go
just-
down?
The justice of the peace shows up. He walks out of the courthouse like, bup, 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 bup. What's happening here?
With his wig and his gavel.
And he goes, you guys got to be ashamed of yourselves. Look at this. You guys are making a spectacle of yourselves. You're making a spectacle of the Victoria police. This is just embarrassing. Let the guy pull his pants up. So Ned,
Caught by the balls.
Lonigan releases him. Ned pulls his pants up and he dusts himself off. And the justice of the peace says, come on, Ned, we're not going to cuff you. We got to charge you now, like now that you've
Yeah.
caused a
You
scene.
just beat the shit out
We're
of
gonna
6
fine you.
cops.
Yeah, he says we're gonna fine you £3
Oh, that's not
for
so bad.
this event, but then you're on your way. So on his way to the courthouse, Ned turns around and goes, Lonigan, I've never shot a man, but God is my witness, you'll be the first. Foreshadowing.
That's Lonigan's getting shot.
So
I mean, if somebody did that to me,
I know.
Yeah, I'd put him on my list to get
Cops
shot.
are mad. Cops are upset.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Ned's-
this justice of the peace guy. He seems rash. He's like
He's
he
probably-
just de-escalated the situation completely. Like, we'll have you pay a little fine. And
Fitzpatrick is embarrassed because he caused this whole thing. Lonigan's embarrassed because he
grabbed this
the
guy's balls
junk.
and didn't even do anything.
Um,
And now I'm gonna get shot over it.
So Fitzpatrick says, I have a plan. I've got a plan. This is for sure going to work. These guys have warrants all over the place for stolen horses. I'm just going to go to their house. I'm just going to arrest them at their house. And that's going to be it. And,
Yep.
you know,
I'm gonna go
Done is done.
Wrap it up.
This is gonna.
the Victoria Police had released an order that nobody is allowed to go, no cop is allowed to go to the Kelly residence alone. You have to go in a pair, at least,
Okay.
because these guys are a mess. Ellen had gotten in scraps with the police, too, just for having a mouth and an attitude, which apparently was enough
Yeah.
for a woman back in the day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
But Ned's big, so I'm guessing his brothers are big too.
probably, yeah.
Jesus.
So-
the sisters are they're all just.
Fitzpatrick stops at a bar on his way to the house, gets loaded. He says, I just need a little bit of liquid courage, but gets just hammered. Gets back on his horse.
Ned took on 6 guys and one was hanging to by his balls
Yeah, I
last
know.
time. This might be a terrible idea.
Gets to the house. Ellen says, oh, Constable Fitzpatrick,
Hi.
fancy seeing you at my house with no warrant. What's going on? He goes, well, I'm here for your boys. I'm here to arrest Dan. He says, I'm not... Ned, if he's here, great.
Dan.
But
The
I'm
baby brother.
The little brother. Ellen says, like hell you are.
Yeah.
You don't have a warrant. Absolutely not. You're not taking Dan. And he goes, okay, so there's several versions of what happened.
Uh-oh.
Nobody's going to know ever what actually happened because everybody involved had their own motives. You know, everybody involved had a reason to lie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fitzpatrick's version of the story is, he says, fair enough. That's fine. But as long as I'm here, I came all this way. Do you mind feeding me dinner?
The presumptuous
I
little
know.
turd.
I know.
No.
Ellen says yes, of course.
I would give him a cow pie.
Sure.
You can have a cow pie.
Ned pops up and starts beating him up. His version of the event is that Ned also shot him,
Oh.
having never shot anybody before in his life.
Nope.
Hit him in the wrist, but then also helped him out by taking the bullet out and saying, sorry about that. I'll take the bullet out and send you on your way. Promise don't tell anybody. So that's his version of the events.
Okay.
Ellen's version is that Fitzpatrick showed up hammered drunk,
Yep.
demanded to be fed dinner after
Yep.
he was told that he wasn't going to take any of the Kelly boys with him.
That sounds
and
about
asked
drunk.
that the little sister, Kate, be the one to serve dinner. Right, I don't know. She was probably 13,
So
I
weird.
guess, at the time.
A weird specific, but go on.
This is the
I don't
same
know.
one that Mr. Fook tried to.
Yes,
Okay.
same one.
This poor girl.
I know. And then, and Ellen also has like a 3-day-old baby at this point, too.
She's got
Like a
enough.
brand new infant baby. Ned apparently showed up again in this story, saw that Fitzpatrick was being a jerk to his mom and his little sister with a baby in the house,
Mm-hmm.
and started beating him up.
Yeah, I would.
to get him out of the house.
I would.
Right? So we know for sure he got beat up by the Kellys. But
The gunshot, though.
I know.
Is there proof?
Well, no, because he took the bullet out.
This doesn't make it go away.
I know. He did have a wound. It was inspected, but there's no bullet, so there's no way to trace it back to anybody's gun. So if he had shot himself in the wrist, there's no way to say this
I
bullet
didn't even say that. That's amazing.
I know. So
He just got drunk.
Fitzpatrick already has a reputation as being a terrible cop. But as soon as he said, "But they tried to kill me," that's what got their attention, because they didn't really have anything else to go on, because they couldn't pin him to any of these horse thefts. But they're like, if we've got a cop who Ned Kelly attempted to kill him, that's enough. That's all we need.
Yeah.
We've got them. So they send more cops out to the Kelly residence. They arrest Ellen because she's there.
She got a baby, though.
Yeah, they took her to jail with a baby. Dan and Ned had hightailed it out into the bush. They found out later that Mom was arrested with the baby. And Ned was like, "Not my mom. Mm-mm, not my mom." So that was kind of what...
You can't arrest me, Mom. Go with me with your sister. She trained as all your body.
So...
All right, I don't drink, but I'm gonna now.
The Victoria police have these warrants out against Ned and Dan now. Okay? Ned and Dan are out in the bush with their friends. They've got Joe Byrne, who is Ned's best buddy in the whole world. And they've got Steve Hart, who's Dan's best buddy in the whole world.
These guys have the best name. Heartburn.
Yeah.
Heartburn. Power.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly Power.
It's a local business, right? Something like
think
that.
so.
Anyway.
Heartburn. That's
So
the nickname.
they're out in the bush. They're stealing horses for money, all of this. They went from being petty horse thieves, though, to now they've got an agenda. Now they've got a mission.
Mad.
Now they're mad. My mom got arrested with a baby. They're picking on us all the time. They're driving us out of Victoria. The squatters are keeping all the good land for themselves illegally, but the corrupt cops are in their pockets. There's nothing we can do. This is insane. This is no good. This is no way to live a life.
Yep. I'm on Team Ned Kelly.
Yep, they've got a whole bunch of sympathizers.
Be there.
Yeah, a lot of people in this similar boat, as them. They some of them are helping them directly. His sister Kate, the one that was always in the house and stuff like that, sometimes she'll go out on a horse dressed as Ned to lead the cops to a different way, and then they'll say, "Hey, Ned Kelly," and she'll go, "Who, me?" And they'll say, "You got me." Kate.
We're going to arrest you for impersonating a criminal.
The cops are like, "We've had it. They've been giving us the runaround. We're going to send out 4 of our best cops out into the bush to find the Kellys, and we're going to bring them to justice once and for all." So these were Lonigan.
There's a bullet with his name on it. We already know.
A guy
Ronnie
named
Ballcatcher.
I know. Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. McIntyre, Kennedy, and Scanlon. Okay. So
That's like at least 3 Irishmen.
Somebody did pose the question of like, are you sure you don't want some of these like indigenous Australians to help us out since they know the area?
Yeah.
They're like expert trackers. That's all
The Crown said, "What do you mean we're not good enough?"
This is gonna go great.
So they send these 4 guys out into the bush to track these other 4 guys. There were some other people that were in and out with the gang, like coming and going, but these were the 4 mainstays.
Well,
right?
the Kelly gang, this is familiar territory, right? This is
like
land
they
they
were
live
born
in.
and raised,
okay.
and
these cops are not.
No, some of them are
They're town
from
guys.
Ireland. Anyway. So the big mistake is one of them, while they're camping out in the bush, decides they're hungry. They shoot a couple of parrots for dinner. The Kellys hear the gunshots and they say, that's them. That's the cops. They're here to get us. So they surround them in the bush. The two of the cops were out looking and scouting. The other 2 were there.
Never split the party.
I know.
Never split the party.
Yeah. I think McIntyre...
Unless you have like 10,000 guys, then you can split the party.
They jump out of the bush. They say, "You're surrounded. Bail up. Give us your weapons. We're not going with you." So McIntyre freaks out. He says, "I surrender. Don't shoot." The other one jumps into the bush to hide and load his gun and stuff like that. McIntyre Ned says, "I'm not going to kill anybody who surrenders. I'm not that guy. Yep. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice bushranger."
Except Lonigan. Where's that bastard? I owe him for the balls thing.
Yeah. McIntyre says, hey, he's not going to shoot you if you surrender. The other one may have been Lonigan, actually. I don't remember which one specifically. But anyway, he goes, like hell, absolutely not. I'm not surrendering to the Kellys. So he points his weapon. That was his mistake.
Yup.
Kelly shoots him dead.
I hope it's Lonigan.
Shoots him through the eye.
Guy never shot before and just crack shot.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. He
Never shot a
had
man before.
He had enough time before he dropped to say, I've been shot, I'm dying, and then he died.
Oh.
That's just his brain. I've been shot.
Yeah. The other two cops show up, find out what's been happening. They see McIntyre with his hands up and unarmed. They see the other cop laying dead on the ground. They pull their weapons, but the Kellys have them surrounded. They shoot first. Now there's 3 dead cops and McIntyre. McIntyre hops on a horse and books it. And Kennedy is one of the dead cops.
Dead Kennedys.
Ned goes over to see that he's not dead yet. He's just mortally wounded. Kennedy says, I'm going to write you a note. Please give this to my wife. I've got a child. I've got an 11-month-old baby that just died. I need you to bring this note to my wife. Kelly says, anything for you, mate. Yeah, I don't know. And actually, I don't even know if he actually
Shouldn't you pull the gun on the outlaw guys?
Ned said, here, I feel really bad about shooting you. Here's my gun. You can shoot me. Kennedy says, no, I forgive you. Allegedly.
Okay.
You know, keep in mind, this is a...
Well, if he's willing to take the guy's note, it's not like he didn't gun these guys down while they were just
right,
sitting
and
there.
that was
He gave
kind of
them a
his
chance
thing.
to
Like, I
surrender.
wouldn't... If they would have just surrendered, I wouldn't have... But they shoot it... They aimed their gun at me. What was I going to do?
They didn't shoot the other guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they didn't want to get pistol whipped or have their balls grabbed.
Now, McIntyre gets back. He goes, there's 3 dead cops in the bush. Ned Kelly did it. I saw the whole thing happen. We got to get this guy. So now there's an 8,000-pound warrant on the Kellys.
That's some
They
money.
can't go anywhere.
That is money.
Yeah, I know. This was the largest
That's
warrant issued.
a lot of money.
Yeah, this was the largest warrant issued at the time.
That's good money now, but
Yeah.
that's a lot.
I'm
of
running
money
out of time.
Sorry.
So,
You get bonus time.
oh, do I?
Yes.
Oh, can I?
Oh, keep going.
Okay.
You go until the story's done.
All right. Okay. So he, so the Kellys are on the loose. Cops are looking all over Victoria for them.
Okay.
But again, they've got sympathizers. They've got a whole bunch of people that are willing to feed them, clothe them, put them up. Even when they go from town to town robbing banks, they're super nice about it. And the people are just like, yeah, here's some money, here's some drinks, here's some more money.
They studied at the Harry Powers School.
They're- Could be. I don't know. They go to the town of Euroa.
Okay.
EUROA. Everybody in the town of Euroa, it's a small town, so everybody's at a funeral, right? So they say, there's no cops here. They do find cops, but they get them locked up right away. They put them in a holding cell or something. They take their clothes. They dress up as cops. They're impersonating cops. The police chief's wife.
Add to the fine.
They take the police chief's wife to mass on Sunday, dressed as her cop husband to not draw suspicion.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. They go to a bank, and they see the accountant is there, but nobody else is there, and they say, "Give us all your money." And the accountant says, "I don't have I'm just the accountant. I don't have access." Well, who's got access to the bank? The bank manager does. Where is he? Well, he's taking a bath. He goes, "Take us to him." So they go to the bank manager, and the accountant knocks on the door. He goes, "The Kelly gang is here. They want to rob us." And he goes, "No, they're not. They're not here." And then Ned Kelly sticks his face in the door. He goes, "We're here. We're robbing you."
Right.
So then he goes, "Well, let me finish my bath." So they say, "All right."
And Ned lets him.
Ned lets him finish his
This
bath.
is a gentleman. This is clearly a gentleman. This is a good man.
So they move on from
Finish your bath, I'll
Euroa.
take a
They
note
go
to
to the
your
town of Geraldary. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it.
I like Geraldary. That sounds better.
While they're in Geraldary, they hold everybody up again in the whole town. They hold them hostage. This is their thing. They hold everybody up in a bar.
The whole town.
Yeah. This time they're in a hotel. They cut
job,
they cut the telegraph wires, which was
smart.
probably not smart.
Oh, because then they know that the wire's
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
You
So
can always tell when the wire's
The telegraph station goes, "Oh, Geraldary
one's
just went
down.
black." That's very strange. No bad weather. What happened?
Gotta send a crew, and the crews always have guns.
Yes, they figure immediately this is the Kelly gang, right? So the cops show up. The Kellys are holding up the entire town in the hotel. This is where Ned Kelly pens. Well, he didn't do it specifically. He dictated it to Joe Byrne. his best buddy.
Yep.
Um,
Heartburn.
right, maybe. He pens a 56-page document called the Jerilderie Letters.
Holy crap.
Starts out like with telling his whole story, his whole life story, how he got to this point. Then he writes like a manifesto, detailing like why they're doing this, justifying all their actions up to this point. Basically saying that this is completely normal and 100% on A-okay for us to do because of XYZ. He signs the letter by saying, "I am a widow's son, outlawed. My demands will be met," and that's it. So he says, publish this in the newspaper, because Jerilderie also has a newspaper.
It's 56 pages.
But they do!
Publish the whole thing.
The newspaper office says...
Come to the newspaper.
They say, we're not going to do that. We're going to give it to the cops. The cops censor the heck out of it, and then they publish it, but that's still enough.
That's a lot.
Because the newspaper circulates through all of the colonies.
Oh my
God!
God.
Now they're known in Victoria, obviously.
These guys are heroes.
Now they're all over all of Australia.
Oh, no.
And they
You
get
just made folk
sympathizers
heroes.
all over Australia.
Well, they're you said they're the selectors and the squatters. Was that the term?
Mm-hmm.
The selectors. So it's like now he's a hero to the selectors.
Yeah.
It's like this is the oppressed system.
This is our guy. This is the guy we have to support, right?
Yep.
So they leave Jerilderie. The cops are looking for them, can't find them, but they go off into the bush for 17 months.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Because it's easy to live in Australia's bush.
I promise I'm almost done.
No, it's okay.
June 25th.
I keep sidetracking you. It's my fault.
June 25th, 1880. Okay? Remember, our event is June 28th?
Yeah, 3 days.
Yep. So the police
Dad's
have been
gonna win.
receiving intelligence that there's a whole bunch of farmers that are suddenly missing plow parts, like the blades on the plowshare.
Oh.
These giant steel plates.
Are they gonna?
Just.
Sorry, go.
And some people are like, I think this is the Kelly gang. I think we're in Kelly country. I think the Kelly gang is taking these plows apart, and I think they're gonna make metal armor. And the cops are like, no. You can't do that. You need a forge. You can't. They're out in the bush. There's no way they're forging 4 sets of metal armor out of plowshares. And so that's it. Finally, the last police officer who shows up and tries to tell his boss that this is happening. The boss has had it with this crazy story.
This is nonsense.
And says, I've had it with this crazy story. You are fired. Fires him. And the guy's like, fine.
I'm joining the Kellys. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Come crying to me if they start killing everybody.
June 26th. Oh, in the meantime, over this 17 months, the cops are like, we know that the Kellys have sympathizers. We know they have a network of sympathizers that are sending them information on our whereabouts and what our plans are. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to get our own informants who are playing both sides.
Okay.
Did not work super well.
No.
They did have one guy named Aaron Sherritt. Aaron was one of the off and on members of the game.
That's a great name for a guy who's leaking
Who's sharing
intel.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Didn't think about that.
A little bit on the nose. We can't trust this guy. Look at his last name.
Aaron, I think, is kind of a weenie, just from my own interpretation of what I was reading.
Okay.
He's playing both sides. He's living with his fiance's mom at the time.
He's just a basement dwelling incel.
His fiance's 15.
He's an incel. Okay, never mind. Yep.
Apparently the cops are surrounding Aaron's home. Or no, the fiance is Joe Burns' sister.
What the
I know.
crap?
Small town.
This guy's just the worst.
So they're surrounding Joe Burns' house.
Oh, that guy sucks.
And the mom, Joe Burns' mom, is like, I think the cops are watching us. And Aaron's like, no, they're not. Don't be silly.
She just paints a sign, honey, don't come home for dinner.
Yeah, so...
I love you.
Mom goes out into the pasture or whatever. She looks directly at the cops, kind of, as a, I see you. Yep, that kind of a deal. Goes back in the house, and she says, Aaron, you hit the bricks. You gotta go. If I see Joe around here, I'm telling him what you did. You are not marrying my daughter. You're not in my family. Whatever. He goes, oh, okay. And so let me pack.
So the Australian neckbeard has to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Byrne finds out that Aaron Sherritt is a rat. They say, well, we can't have that. Okay, number one, we're going to send a message to the cops. Number two, we're going to clean out the rats. We're going to go kill Aaron Sherritt. So they send a couple of guys. Two of them, they go to the Aaron Sherritt's / Joe Byrne's mom's house.
She opens the door.
The other two are making their way to the town of Glen Rowan. Okay? Glen Rowan has a train track that runs through it that the cops have set up to come from Melbourne. In case anybody sees or hears of the Kelly... in case they see or hear the Kelly gang around, they say that they're going to have a train at the ready, 24/7, ready to make its way to Glen Rowan. Okay?
Okay.
Kellys know this. They go to Aaron Sherritt's house. They kill Aaron Sherritt.
Good.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, but they did it in front of, like, his mom, or, like, his fiance.
That's not.
It's a little messy.
I'd have taken him out.
They know.
Take him to the shed.
And the plan was, if we kill this informant, the cops are going to find out that their mole is dead. That's going to be a clear indication that we're in the area. That's how we're going to bait them to come up to Glen Rowan, right?
Okay.
They want the cops.
They want the cops to show up because they're going to make a thing. This train track that they've located, they get these quarry workers to help them.
Okay.
They're going to pull up the train track to get the train to derail. The train track is running along the side of a hill.
So they're going to kill the
So
train.
they're trying to to get it to derail. It's going to tumble down the hill. They're going to show up on the top of the ridge. Remember the Harry Power thing from earlier where they were up on a ridge?
Yep.
They're wearing their metal armor, the plan, anyway.
And then shoot down
at them. So if you're sitting at the bottom of the hill and you just got out of a train crash and you can't walk.
Fish in a barrel.
If you look up, yeah, exactly. If you even try to shoot upwards, you can only see from the hips up, right? You can't see the legs.
Armor.
It's just plate armor made out of plowshares that are meant to plow through hard Australian
so
dirt.
It's like that. They're
Yeah.
invincible. Okay, that's a good plan.
These sets
That's
of
a
armor
really good.
Yes.
That's a really good plan. I'd say that's a good plan.
That's the plan.
Okay.
They go to Glen Rowan after they get the tracks pulled up. One of the quarry workers is like, this is a little much. This is borderline terrorism at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
I'm just gonna cover the train tracks a little bit with brush. I'm gonna just slightly, just kind of like maybe pull it up a little bit, but I'm not gonna go crazy on it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna cover it up with brush so nobody sees that I didn't do a great job on this.
So he screws up the plan.
Well, sort of. He helped. So back in Glen Rowan, the Ned Kelly has everybody in the town in the bar. That's their modus operandi, right? Get everybody arrested.
Just go hang out in the bar.
Everybody,
we'll be done in a minute.
Round them up. Get in the hotel.
But they don't hurt anybody. They don't kill anybody.
Yeah, they
okay.
demanded.
So the people are like, oh, this is fine.
They said, hey, this is a hold up. You guys don't go anywhere. Just stay here. Don't leave. Women and children, everybody, you've got to stay in this bar.
Okay.
Drinks for everybody.
There's probably already half the town is there. So
Probably.
Like, all right,
I don't know.
that's fine.
They go to somebody's house. That's the station manager's house. The
Okay.
Station manager is sick in bed with the flu.
Oh,
Ned Kelly shows up wearing his big duster coat with his plate armor underneath, holding a rifle, kicks the door down, and he says, I'm Ned Kelly, you're coming with me. The station manager is sick with the stomach flu. He goes,
You're gonna get sick, Mr.
Okay.
Kelly.
Everybody's rounded up, right? Ned Kelly is delivering this oratory thing about his message and his manifesto. Everybody's like, okay, this is fun. Like, we're having a good time, but I gotta get up in the morning.
There's only one toilet in
there's
town.
a few people who are like, I really gotta go. I promise I'm not gonna do anything. I just want to go home. I just want to go to bed. So Ned Kelly picks out a few people who he trusts, like some kids and some moms and stuff like that. He goes, okay, you can go. One guy, his name is Thomas Kernow. He says, my mom's sick. I gotta go home and take care of my mom.
Liar! Liar face!
Well, Ned's a mama's boy.
Liar face!
Ned says, well, okay, but don't do anything naughty. Just go right home to your sick mom. And Thomas says, Scout's honor. You got it. Yep.
Ned Kelly's here.
Yeah.
Full plate armor.
Thomas Kernow finds his way to the train track. Because, the train was running late, too. Because, I don't know, I can't remember why.
It's a train.
They didn't find out that this had happened until, like, a day later. So it was already, that's why they were getting anxious, because things were moving much more slowly than they anticipated.
Yeah.
Thomas Curnow flags the train down, that it's finally started to arrive at like midnight or so. He has a red scarf and a candle, and he's like, stop. Train stops. Thomas Curnow says, the Kelly gang is in this bar. Show up, please. Let me lead you to this bar. And the cops say, all right, let's go. So they show up. It's about 3 a.m. This is June 28th. The Kelly gang hears a ruckus outside. They hear whoops and hollers and shouting. And they say,
I don't think that Colonel boy's mom was
I
upset.
think he was a liar.
I think he told a fib.
Yeah, so they show up. They say, this is it. This is the shootout. So they don their 98-pound armor. Yeah.
In Australia. In June.
Well, it's winter there, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
flipped.
yeah.
It's flipped. Southern
Yeah,
Hemisphere.
yeah.
Okay, so it's not so bad.
Still, I don't know.
It's still probably
pretty
60
nice
degrees
out.
or something. It's Australia. It's nice.
They keep half the party is in the hotel. Half the party goes outside to shoot out. They're stomping through the streets, just invincible. Any bullet that hits them just pings right off.
It's awesome.
Ned Kelly eventually said that it just felt like somebody was hitting him. Just, hey, you know, just like that.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yep.
They could walk into a hail of bullets, just firing back at the cops.
Yeah, unless they can find a weak spot, they're invincible.
Right. In the bar, Joe Byrne, he's being a little bit of a showboat. He's probably drunk from their day and a half
Damn it,
of...
Joe.
I know.
Damn it, Joe!
Puts his leg up on a bar stool, exposing his groin. And he
Shot in the
says,
balls.
yeah, he says, here's to many more years in the bush for the noble Kelly gang. And shot in the groin. The bullet pierces his femoral artery. That's
Damn.
it. Bleeds
Sorry,
out
Joe.
immediately.
Damn it, Joey!
Whoops.
Ned finds out, and here it gets a little blank what happens, because Ned just ran off into the bush for a little bit. Either he was talking to his sympathizers.
Ambled
that,
off
yeah.
in his heavy armor.
Oh, and he was shot in the kneecap, and he was shot in the foot or
Ned?
something.
Ned?
Not the kneecap. He was shot in the foot and shot in the hand.
Ned?
Yes.
So the only weak spots
Right.
in like his arm.
He's fine, but hobbling.
Yeah.
He
That would
probably
hurt.
was just mourning his friend who just got killed.
Yep. I need a minute.
I gotta regroup.
The
So,
clip.
Dan and Steve are still firing from the bar. They're inside. Ned comes back, guns a-blazing, marches down the street into a hail of bullets. He's got 2 pistols in his hand. He's got a third on his hip, firing left and right. Nobody can touch him. There's a cop named Steele who...
These guys have the best
I know.
names. Power, steel,
Yeah.
burns, heart.
Ned shoots at him. He
Captain
dodges the bullet. He hits the ground. On the ground, he realizes, hey, his legs are exposed. Blows his kneecap out. Yep, shoots him right through the kneecap. Ned hits the ground. Immediately, Ned is like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
100 pounds
I'm
of extra
done.
weight
Yep.
on that messed up.
The cops-
Okay, I take a break.
The cops are like, is he dead? Is he dead? They notice that he can't even lift his hand.
Yep.
He's
I'm
it.
exhausted.
They approach Ned, who's laying on the ground. They're gonna shoot him. The station manager, the guy that had the stomach flu earlier, he's like, "No, don't touch him! Don't touch him! Nobody kill him, okay? We're gonna take him in. Everybody deserves a fair trial."
Oh,
Ned
it's gonna
deserves
be
a fair trial.
It's gonna be fair. They're
I'm
gonna
sure.
hang him,
So
shoot him 18 times.
Steve and Dan are still in the hotel.
Invincible.
Ellen and Kate have showed up
Oh.
to plead with them to come out.
You boys need to stop.
Like, now you're just getting a bit rowdy.
Yeah. Ned's shot in the knee. It's over, all right? Your buddy got shot in the balls.
Yep. This is it. So they say, no, Mom, we're staying in here. The cops realize that this is daytime. They're not coming out. Because they know as soon as they walk out, somebody's going to see them in broad daylight. They're going to hold up until night. And the cops say, we don't have any time for this. So they
nobody got it.
light it on fire.
Oh.
Are there still people inside?
Just the two.
So
Dan and Steve.
they let the hostages. They didn't
let
keep
the
them as
hostages out.
hostages.
Yeah, all the hostages are gone. They're fine.
Well, the Kelly boys are pretty all right.
Yeah.
I mean, have they killed anybody at this point?
Just
I mean,
cops.
Just cops. I mean,
I don't know.
To be fair, so far the cops have
The
been
cops
nothing
have
but
not been-
bastards.
yeah.
They have been bastards
They
this
have
whole
not
time.
marketed themselves well.
Yeah.
So
But these are different cops. These
the
might be good
priest-
cops.
The priest says nobody's burning a building down with living, breathing people inside. Let me go in there. So the priest barrels through the burning building, comes back out and goes, "Oh, it's a bit hot, it's a bit hot." But he actually finds out that Dan and Steve have already killed themselves.
Oh.
They made it look like they wanted to make it obvious that the police did not get them. They laid down with their heads on pillows. They laid down next to each other and shot themselves.
Shot themselves or shot each other? Because I feel like suicide's
Maybe
a mortal
both.
sin.
I don't know.
They're Irish Catholics. They're not gonna...
Yeah,
we're not killing ourselves
they
and
have
kill
a
each
line
other.
somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the hotel burns down. They find out that Dan and Steve are already dead.
That sucks.
Joe Byrne is dead.
Yep.
Ned's got a blown out kneecap. They take him to Melbourne to stand trial. He's in Melbourne in a jail. At the same time, his mom is in jail.
She didn't do anything, though.
She was mouthy and she had a bad attitude. How dare you?
She's a Kelly.
Uppity woman.
Yeah, I don't know. November 1880 rolls around. The priest shows up to tell him, "This is your date. This is the date. This is when they're gonna hang you." And Kelly is reported as saying, "Such is life." There's some back and forth of when he said that. Some people think it was when he was getting hanged. Some people think it was when he heard his sentence. Yeah. It doesn't matter. He's
Waiting
allowed
for a last-minute escape.
He's allowed to see his mom and his sisters one more time before he gets hanged. His mom says, "Mind you die like a Kelly boy." And I know.
Balls out and fighting.
Tough
Yeah,
love. That's tough love.
Tough lady. She lived to be like 93.
Wow.
I know. Anyway.
She had 7 more children after this. She named them all Ned.
Yeah, I don't know. As he's getting walked to the gallows, he walks by the flower bed in front of the prison, and he goes, "Oh, look at the beautiful flowers." I don't know.
This is a dude. Like, I like these. That's lovely day to die.
Yeah, they get him set up on the gallows to hang. The other report of what his last words were it's come to this.
Well, I suppose
And
it
that's
was
it.
going to
And
happen.
then they dropped it. There's a report that Ellen was doing laundry in the prison, and she heard the gallows open,
Ooh.
which is sad.
Yeah.
So that's it. That was it for the Kelly gang. That was his last stand. The Crown did an official inquiry into everything that happened up to this point because they said, "I don't know if that was completely above board what happened."
Maybe if we weren't such bastards, these Kelly boys wouldn't have done this.
A whole bunch of police in Victoria got fired and demoted because of it.
Wow.
They hired professional Indigenous, so some of the cops that they had looking for the Kellys in the bush, they called, this is a very racist term from a very racist time in history, they called them the black trackers.
Oh.
Because they were Indigenous.
Okay.
So they said instead of just...
every time you say something that is racist, I expect it to be way worse than it is.
I don't know, maybe I have
that's not
Anyway,
not great, but that's
rather
not nearly
than
as bad
just
as I thought it
being
was
roped
gonna be.
into doing things that they don't want to do for free, now they're actually offered professional training and they're on payroll. So there's that. The other cops actually get training on how to handle this kind of thing.
De-escalation.
Yeah, because the other thing is the Crown was worried about copycats.
Oh, yeah.
All the copycat gangs got snuffed out immediately. So that never happened again. And then, just general sentiment toward the Kelly gang's ideals. It didn't go anywhere. The people were like, "Hey, you're right. Yeah, we don't like being pooped on every day. You know,
we're gonna take it."
Well, I don't know. This was 1880. Australia became a nation in 1901.
Okay.
So it was a fairly quick turnaround. I don't know. It was probably going to happen eventually, I guess.
Yeah.
But 21 years later, it was a nation in the Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Ned Kelly.
Ned Kelly.
That was that.
That's the last stand of Ned
That
Kelly?
was the
Last stand of Ned Kelly.
An hour and...
Just under an hour.
Just under an hour. Sorry, that's Will's asides are...
I'll
Lengthy.
edit all that out.
No!
right.
I was funny.
So next, that's that. Now, next week, what are we doing, Will?
I guess we'll do the Declaration of Independence, 'cause I
guess we'll do that.
can't do the research that I normally would do to find a day.
That's
Although
fine.
next week is when Pitcairn Island was also discovered.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Yeah, we already did that.
But we
though.
already did it. But no, I think the 4th of July would be good to talk about that. Talk about the Declaration,
Sure.
all the details thereof, and some of
Why not?
the stuff. It's always relevant.
So, like and subscribe and do the stuff.
Thanks, Try.
Look up stuff about Australia.
Look up Afuk.
Look up Afuk. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks, Erica.
Bye.
Bye.